Hello friends, welcome to our channel Kotlin Tea Point. In this video, I am going to show you how can we create the RESTful API with the Spring Boot. So we will have only 4 steps for creating RESTful API with the Spring Boot. So guys, make sure you continue complete this video till the end. And before starting this video, I hope you guys aware about the Spring architecture and Spring syntax, as well as I'm going to also implement the Hibernate with the Spring Boot application. So in this RESTful API we will not have any kind of SQL queries. Hibernate is mainly ORM platform in Java, so which mainly reduce our database related operations. So it is better to use Hibernate with any Java application. So guys, let's start our video. Here I already have one database. As you can see, I have MySQL database with the employee directory, which is a database name, and employee is our table name with first name, last name, email, right? These 4 fields we have. And we are going to start creating Spring Boot RESTful API. Very simple coding and very less coding we require for making the Spring Boot RESTful API. So guys, let's start understand how we can create the RESTful API with Spring Boot. So here I also make the steps ready, only 4 steps as you can see guys. So let's understand what is the first step. So we need to create the Spring Boot project from spring.io. Spring.io is the website. As you can see here in my browser, I already opened the spring.io website from where we can download the Spring Boot application. So let's have the quick start with the Spring Boot spring.io website. And you can see here we can download the project by Spring. And so here it is, you can see it is very simple steps. You can download the Spring application, start.spring.io, link is here. And here we need to mention the project group name, artifact name, as we are going to use the Maven project with the Java. It is a build tool we have, right? So here we can specify the group name. So let me have group name like com.kotlin t point. And artifact name, let's have spring dot rest api. Okay, so RESTful API, that is the name I have selected, and accordingly other details will be there. Okay, so this is the site, right? start.spring.io, from where you can download the Spring Boot application. And with this application we need following dependencies. As you can see, we need a starter data JPA, which is a Hibernate ORM support for. So you can see add dependency option is there, and I will click here and I will select the data JPA. You can see data JPA dependency I selected, and it is there with my application. So data JPA, then data REST, another dependency which will make our RESTful API coding easier. So data REST I selected. Okay, REST repository. Then after starter web, another dependency we need. So starter, okay, I will select only web here, Spring Web, you can see. Okay, 3 dependencies we have. And dev tools, another one, dev tools dependency. Okay, and dev tools dependency we added. Dev tools basically help you for automatic reloading. That means if I make any changes in a code, then it will automatically get reloaded on the server. Okay, so that's why dev tools we require. And MySQL connector, fifth one. Okay, for the MySQL connectivity we need MySQL connector. Here it is, MySQL connector. Okay, so MySQL driver will be there. So this is how we are going to make our Spring Boot application ready with 5 dependency. First one is starter data JPA, second one data REST, starter web, dev tools, and connector Java. So with these dependencies, let's download. Let's click on the generate button, and you can see it is downloaded. Let me open the folder, download folder, and let's extract this file, this project. Okay, and once it is extracted, we can copy the path. open our Eclipse. Inside the file, let's import the project. Here I will select the Maven, existing Maven project, and then after root directory, so I paste the path where I downloaded the project. Then after click on the add project to working set, so I will select this checkbox, and finally I will click on the finish button. So here is the project I have imported, and still it is going on the process. It will download the libraries required for our project. So just wait until it complete the process. Yes, it is done. Let's confirm the dependency inside our pom XML file. So I will open this pom.xml file, and we will confirm the dependencies. 5 dependencies we have added. So let's confirm all dependencies are perfectly available or not. You can see data JPA, that is our first dependency as per our documentation, data JPA. Then after data REST, that is second one. Then after starter web, then after dev tools, and then after MySQL connector. Okay, so these 5 mainly dependency we required for the RESTful API project. Okay, and you can see inside the SRC main Java, we have application.java file. Okay, with main method, and Spring Boot provides server itself, internal server, so no extra additional server we required. Okay, so let's see what is the second step we have. So first step we have completed. Second step, we need to provide the JDBC property inside the application dot properties. Okay, so inside your SRC main resource, you can see application dot properties file we have. Here we can provide the JDBC property as mentioned here, spring dot data source dot URL. We will provide the data source URL here. Then after username, then after password. So data source related property we are going to mention here spring dot data source dot URL equal to jdbc colon mysql colon double slash localhost 3306 slash database name, which is employee directory. As I saw earlier, our database name is employee directory, so accordingly I have given the database name. Then after spring dot data source, okay, so URCE, make sure there is no spelling mistake, and username equal to root. Then after same I will repeat for password. Currently for my database there is no password, so I will put it blank. So with these are the properties for database. Okay, so from here spring will identify the database name, username and password, so it is able to access the database. So that is our second step. Third step, you can see we need to create a model respective to our table. Okay, so this is the concept of our Hibernate. In Hibernate, according to the Hibernate rules, we need to specify at the rate entity annotation which will confirm our table. Okay, so let's make create a model. So here I am going to create one model. You can see, right click on your package name and new, and I will create one package first of all. So dot model package I created. Inside this model package I will create one class, that is a employee, and this employee class will be respective to our table name. So first of all I will make this class entity class. Okay, so here I will have the control space and java x dot persistence. Another annotation I will specify, that is a table annotation, and I will mention the name of the table as per my database name. You can see my table name is employee, so accordingly I will specify the table name employee. Then after I have id, I have first name, last name. Okay, so respective to the columns in my table I will create the fields, and id is our primary key, means I need to specify the what we need to identity. Okay, it is not suggesting me. What is the problem here? Okay, id is the annotation, so my mistake. Id annotation we required as per the Hibernate coding. And next we will have generated value which we require for auto increment. And here you can specify the strategy, that is identity, which is equivalent to MySQL auto increment. Okay, so this is enough. And then after you can also mention the at the rate column annotation. And what is the name of the field? As per my database it is first underscore name. For last name it is last underscore name. So accordingly I will have first underscore name, and here we will have last underscore name. Okay, so this is the model class we have with first name, last name, email. And we need getter setter method. For that we can have the shortcut in Eclipse. You can right click here, inside the source we can have generate and getters and setters. So we will select all the fields which we declare privately. So here we have getter setter. One more thing I want here is we need a constructor. So first one I create default constructor, and another constructor I can create here. It is optional, right? Completely optional. So if you want you can ignore this one also, right? Without id I will create one constructor with first name, last name, and email. And finally I will have toString method as well. So let's have toString method with the fields. Okay, so this is the model class we created. So first we create a project, then we create a model, edit the application properties, then after our model class. Okay, and what is the last step? See, we have completed 3 steps. The last step is we need to create an interface respective to your table again. So here it is employee repository, which will extend JPA repository. And with JPA repository we only need to mention the name of our model, comma, the type of our primary key. Okay, so let's complete this step. So here I'm going to create one more package. Yes, here it is. And name it repository. Okay, repository package name we have selected. And inside this repository I will create one interface. For interface I will right click here and select the new interface, and let's name it employee repository. As I said, we are going to create one interface which will extends JPA repository. And with JPA repository we need to mention the model class name, which is employee in our case, and data type of the primary key, which is integer. So guys, that's it. No extra line we need to write here, no other code required here. Okay, that's it. We need to create only employee repository, which is extending JPA repository, right? And this is all going to be automatic. The main reason behind this is the dependency we added, which is a data rest dependency, right? So data rest dependency will make automatically handle all the model class we have mentioned here in JPA repository. It will have all the RESTful API like post, get, put and delete, each and every we require. Okay, so guys, let's check this API. And for checking this API, testing this API, we need Postman. So I hope you guys aware about the Postman. So Postman is the tool we use for testing our RESTful API. Okay, so here is my Postman which I will use for testing my APIs. And before test, let me start my application server. So from the application.java I will run this application, Java application. So let's run this application and check our RESTful API. Okay, so here is the process started. You can see Just wait until it starts the server. Okay, ORM Hibernate, it is detected, and you can see the process is going on. Okay, so Tomcat started, you can see. Okay, now I will test my API. So inside the Postman, let's start with the get API. So here I will type http:// and localhost colon 8080 slash employees, right? So based on the name of our model, it will have the s at the end. So let me have employees URL with the get method. If I send the request, so here is the data. Okay, so that means our API is working perfectly, and you can see the data is there, whatever we have inside our table, right? Andrews and Emma and all Urvi, Petro, right? So all data we have, and at the last you can see other metadata information is also there, like page with the size 20, total number of page 1, and total number of elements 5. So by default it provides the pagination as well. Pagination API is also ready, right? So and other links are also there. If you want only employee with the ID 1, then you can go with this API as well, right? So let me paste this API and again go with the get method. Okay, here it is, right? Here is the employee or the with the ID 1. Okay, let's check with the post API. So I will select the post API with the employees URL, and inside the body let me have row and JSON. Okay, and let me pass some data like first name, last name, and email we are going to post. So these links I will remove, and let me have the first name like Akshay Kumar and Akshay at the kotlinteapoint.com and send. Okay, here you can see we are getting the response properly 201, and inside my database if I refresh the data, you can see 9 with the ID 9 new employees inserted, so that it is working perfectly. Post request is sent. Okay, let me check the put request as well. For the put request I will again have the same URL. Okay, and the same type of data let me have inside the body, row, and the JSON. Okay, inside of Akshay let me have uh, Akshay. Last name I make changes, and the ID I will pass 9 in the URL and send it. And you can see we are getting the response here with the last name Akshay. So that our update request also working well. And again I will have the same URL with the delete request. So let me have delete and the same URL send, and you can see 204 is the response. There is no body we have, but 204 is there. And if I confirm with the database, it is deleted. Okay, so this is how the Java Spring Boot application supports the RESTful API. If you want to change the configuration, right, then application.properties is there, and you can also check on the internet Spring properties for RESTful API. Okay, you will get other configuration, like if you want to modify per page records, right, then you can modify this application.properties. So with this video we are ending up our content, right? So I hope you like this video. Make sure to practice this RESTful API. It is very easy. Almost in 5 minutes or more you can make your RESTful API ready, right? So stay tuned, we will come back with some new extra coding, right? So don't forget to subscribe and like our channel, and also share this video with your friends. Thank you guys, thank you so much.